right, everybody, welcome to Sunday Basic Sunday, the day of the week that we take Strat-O-Matic and go to the basic level here in the 1962 season, trying to play all the teams that on their opening day or second game, one or the other. Something early to get them all in the rotation. And today it finds us here in the Steel City in Pittsburgh. It'll be the Phillies and the Pirates. I'm trying something different. I've got this piece of cardboard. Since these basic side of the cards are white and the score sheet is white, the contrast is not all that great. So I've got this piece of cardboard, and what I'm going to try to do is see about, putting this here, and that way, hopefully, cards will have a better contrast to them and be easier to decipher. This is an experiment. I'm going to try it this one time. That's it. And if it goes well, I'll keep going. But if not, it's no big loss. It's just one particular chance to check things out. And before we get going, have a cameo appearance via pictorial of Tabby. She's sitting there. This is from the other day, from yesterday, I think, where she is sitting there on the floor behind me with her paws crossed, looking up at me, and in her time. And so that's just a little picture there of Tabby. She's doing quite well. 11 and a half years old. She'll be 12 in November. So we're hoping to keep her around, healthy for another 4 or 5 years at least. But we'll see. Got our dice right here. No frills, no AI, no nothing. No game pulse, no AI. This is all just a person and their cards, basically. Dice cards and a score sheet. And that's basically all there is. So let's move this over here a little bit so I can get more room. And I think we might be good to go here. I can go this far. And you still see the cards. So when we get past the 7th inning, then I'll worry about maybe backing the webcam up a little bit so you can see everything. But right now, we're going to try this experiment, see how it goes, see if I can write this in here correctly. So Bob Friend is on the mound for the Pirates. Bob Friend, I don't know how well you can see this. I'm not close enough to it, but Bob Friend was 18 and 14 in the 1962 season with a 3.06 ERA. So Bob Friend will be on the mound for the Pirates against the Phillies. Pirates in the 62 season were 93 and 68. Phillies were 81 and 80. So by record, you would think the Pirates had the advantage, but that's why you rolled the dice. I did look up on the roster sheet, and Bob Friend has a special run rating of 12. Usually it's defaulting to a 10 for pitchers, like Owens has a 10 because he had no special rating. But Friend, if he gets on base, runs at a 12. Just one little note there to be aware of. Also, thing you got to have for basic is you need to have the basic fielding chart, basic strategy chart. So we have these standing by, ready to go when needed. And so I think all that out of the way, I think we're ready. So here we go. Tony Taylor against Bob Friend. And I'm not going to roll the D20 anymore until it's needed. I'll keep the roll this time. It was a 20. Not that we might need it, but I'll keep it anyway. 6-10. And that is a fly ball center field X, so we will use that 20 that came up originally. Center fielder is Verdon. He's a 1, so I imagine it's probably either a catch or a re-roll. A lot of times on the basic chart, a 20 is a re-roll, and it is right here. Roll 20-sided die again. So we're going to roll it again. And we get a 5, and that is an out. The only problem you would have with a 1-rated center fielder is if he rolled an 18. Other than that, he's going to make the play. So it's fly ball to center field. Tony Taylor. Not to be confused with Tony the Tiger, although Taylor did eventually play for the Tigers. But he's not doing Frosted Flakes. So here is Johnny Callison. That's a 5-4, and that's going to be a catcher's card X. So we're looking at the catcher, Smokey Burgess. He's a 4. So a 4, and we're looking right here, and we get a 16. 4 and a 16 is a wild pitch followed by a foul out. Nobody's on base, so there's no wild pitch, but there will be the foul out. So that's going to take care of that. Some people play it that if there is nobody on base, there is no wild pitch, therefore there's no foul out, but I don't play it that way. I play it as it's written on the card there. There's nothing on this thing that says if there's no wild pitch, that there's no foul out. That's not it. I can't find that anywhere in the rule book. If you can, please let me know, but I can't find that anywhere in the rule book. So I play it as it is. I don't try to read anything into it extra, particularly not in basic. So we will move on now to Tony Gonzalez. Another Tony. We had Tony Taylor. Now we got Tony Gonzalez. 6'9", and that's going to be a 1 for a double. Anything else will be a single. So it'll be a 2-out single for Tony Gonzalez. And with Smokey Burgess being a 4 rated catcher, that's going to only be a -1 to the number. So Gonzalez, a B stealer, and as a B stealer, he is a 1 to 13. So the -1 makes it a 1 to 12. Be a 60% chance. I think that's a pretty good odds, a pretty good gamble to go for it with 2 outs to try to get in scoring position. So 1 to 12, he will steal it. And he does. And it's also, let me make sure Basic has that rule. I'm not sure if Basic has the catcher throwing error rule or not. I don't think it does, actually. Don't see that it does. There is no T rating to write down, so there is no throwing error on a 1, 2, or 3 like it is in advanced and super advanced. So it's just going to be a stolen base for Gonzalez. And here is Roy Sievers. Roy Sievers, the first baseman. Get a 3-7. And a 3-7 is a 1 to 4 triple. Anything else will be a single. The run's going to score either way because the stolen base put him in scoring position. Wonderful managing there on my part for sure. 1 to 4 for a triple. And he gets a triple. He would have scored anyway. You didn't know that. Triple for Roy Sievers. And the double die has come up 1 2 times in a row. How about that? No matter what color I choose, it seems to come up 1 an awful lot. Here's Wes Covington. 4-10. And that's going to be a fly to center to end the inning. So Gonzalez scores on the triple by Sievers. Philadelphia takes a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first. Pirates coming to bat, trying to get that run back, if not more, against right-hander Jim Owens. Jim Owens on the 62 season was 2-4 with a 6.33 ERA. So you would think, just offhand, you would think the Pirates would be able to score some runs here. But that's why you roll the dice. Here's Verdon. Bill Beast of Verdon. 4-7, and that's a walk. But right now, Bill is a Beast of Verdon to the pitcher Owens and the Phillies because he's on base. However, he's not much of a threat to steal. He's a D stealer, so he won't go anywhere. That'll bring up Dick Grote, shortstop. That's a 3-9 for Grote. That's a double 1 to 5. Anything else will be a single 2 stars. And that's a 4. So we'll get a double 2 stars. And certainly didn't take long for the Pirates to respond with some offense. 2 on, nobody out. And Bob Skinner is your batter. Infield back for the Phillies. They need outs. 4-10, and that is a pop out second base. That's a big out to get with nobody advancing, so Skinner is out of there. And here comes Dr. Strangeglove, Dick Stewart, a 5-rated first baseman. And if you look at the advanced side, he's an E28, 5 E28. Here's Stewart. Infield is still back. That's a 2-6, and it doesn't matter where they are because that's a 1-4 triple, 5-20 single. Both runs will score regardless. And it's a base hit for Stewart, a 2-run single for Dick Stewart. Pirates lead it 2-1. So it took them just the first inning to recapture or get back and take the lead. So Stewart's at first with 2 outs for Roberto Clemente, and he has that -6 arm in the advanced and super advanced ratings. Here's Clemente. 5-3. That's a walk. That'll keep the inning going. First walk issued by Jim Owens. He may not be around much longer if he starts giving up all this stuff in the first inning. He's going to be an early exit. Here's Smokey Burgess. 111, and that's a single. Stewart doesn't run all that well. He does get a 2-out boost with 2 outs. He runs at a 9. It'd be a 1 to an 11 to score him. So they're going to load the bases and have Don Hoke give it a go to bring in the runs. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. And the number 7 hitter, Don Hoke, steps to the plate. Still only 1 out. So we didn't get the 2-out advantage after all. It's still only 1 out. 6-4. That's a ground ball. Third base X. Third base is Demeter, and he is a 4. So that's not too good either. Right in here. That's an 11. 4 and an 11 is a 2-base error. So it's a 2-base error. There you see the 4 and the 11. For a third baseman, 4 and 11 is that 2-base error right where my finger is. 2-base error. So 2-base error on the third baseman, Demeter, or Demeter. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Demeter. So now it's 4-1 Pittsburgh. Still only 1 out. And here's Bill Mazeroski. Now the infield will come in for Bill Mazeroski. Try to choke the runoff. 6-6, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. Third walk of the inning for Owens. Boy, the Philly bullpen's already going to get started here in the first inning. So up to bat now is Bob Friend. He does use pitcher hitting card number 1 per his sheet right here, and also over here, batting card number 1 for Bob Friend. Bases loaded. Infield back for the double play now. And that is a 5-7. That's a single 1-14 and a line out 15-20. That is a line out to third. So he lines it to Demeter for out number 2, but they're going to bat around. So this is still the first inning for Pittsburgh. And they're going to have a batting around situation with Bill Verdon coming back on. He walked to lead off and scored, but he's up to bat again with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Against Jim Owen. It's 4-1 Pirates. 2-8, and that's a single there. That's going to score at least 1 more run, maybe 2. Burgess will score. Don Hoke was at second base. He runs at a 14. With 2 outs, he becomes a 16. So he's going to try to score it. 1-16, and he's in there. So it's a 2-run single. Mazeroski, let's check him out. He runs at a 13. He'll stay at second base, just to be simple. But it's now 6-1 in favor of the Pirates. 2 outs, runners at first and second. And here's Dick Grote. That's a 3-9 for Grote, and that's going to be a base hit. 1-5 is a double, 6-20 is a single. That is a single, 2 stars, so that will score Mazeroski. Going to third is Verdon, and that's going to be it for Owens. He's not going to make it out of the first inning. The Phillies manager Gene Mauch doesn't know what to do. He just definitely was not anticipating that. Now, the good news for the Phillies is they have a lot of guys in their bullpen that they can turn to. And let's see who they might want to go to. They're going to go to, boy. Well, let me do this. Let me make sure, because there's a lot of guys that start and relieve. So I want to look at the schedule for the Phillies and make sure I don't pick somebody that's going to be starting the next game, because that would be, rather weird. So let me do that real quick so that we get everything in where it needs to be. Fast look at retro sheet and the Phillies game log. All right. Let's see here. Actually, they have 2 days off after this. They play this game on the April the 10th, and they'll play again till the 13th. So really, and let's see who started on the 13th, just for the heck of it. That was Hamilton. So as long as we don't use Hamilton, I think we're okay. So everybody other than Hamilton is available. So I'll make sure we don't use Jack Hamilton. He's the one guy we're not going to use, Jack Hamilton. So instead we will go to Cal McLish. So Cal McLish will get the call. I didn't even put the things here, did I? Friend Owens. Poor Owens didn't do anything. And McLish. So Owens is going to go 2/3 of an inning. Can't close the book on him yet because he's responsible for both of these runners. So McLish is out, and he'll be facing Bob Skinner to try to get out of the inning. Runners on the corner, still 2 outs. That's a 3-5 for Skinner, and that's a home run, 1-8. 9-20 is a double. That's a double. Another run will score. That is charged to Owens. Grote most likely will try to score from first base as well. He runs as an 11 with 2 outs. He's a 13. 1-13, he's in there. And he's out at the plate. So the double on a 3-5. 3-5, the double was assumed to go to center field, I guess. So we'll call it 8-6-2 for the out. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 runs. 8 runs score for the Phillies. Other than Skinner and Friend, everybody else scored a run, and Bird, the leadoff man, scored 2 runs. So an 8 spot in the first inning for the Pirates. Pirates won this game real world 6-0, but they lead 8-1 after 1 right here. So now we go back, look at Owens. He's going to give up 8 runs. How many were earned is the question. Let's see here. These singles are going to make some of these earned. I think the only one that's going to be unearned is this one, because this guy would have scored on the singles. Well, actually, that would have made it 3 outs. This would have been the 3rd out. So anything over here is unearned as well. So, and this walk would not have scored, I don't think. Yeah, he wouldn't have scored. So I think it's 5 earned. I could be wrong. It might be 6 earned. It really doesn't matter at this point. Let's see here. 3 walks and no strikeouts. About as miserable as performance as you can expect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. I don't have the computer up, so this is one I'd like to have the computer to help me on, but don't have that. But there you go. 8-0 ball game after 1 inning of play, and now my columns are out of line because the Pirates have shifted over 1 where the Phillies are the same. So got to keep that in mind. And guess who's got a huge lead to work with? Mr. Bob Friend. And he'll be facing Don Demeter for the Phillies. That's a 6-7, and that's a single. So maybe both teams are going to just pile on the pitchers in this game. I don't know. Clay Dalrymple up. That's That's a 6-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Shortstop is Grote. He's a 3. So a 3-rated shortstop right here in this column. We get a 9, a 3, and a 9 is a out 3. Out 3 says runner on first out going to second. Completion of a double play. How about that? That's a Giovanni's Tailor Shop. Tailor-made double play. 643. Yes, even in Strat Basic, Giovanni's Tailor Shop will sponsor the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. 2 quick outs. And here's Ruben Amaro. 1-7 for Amaro. He draws a walk. And that'll bring up the pitcher spot. Cal McLish. He's his pitcher hitting card number 1, but they want him to pitch some innings, so he's going to stay in there and hit. 3-10, and he grounds it to third to end the inning. So that'll do it for the Phillies. They come away empty-handed. Go to the bottom of the second. Pittsburgh 8, Philadelphia 1. And Bob Friend can probably cruise the rest of this game. Here's McLish. He'll be facing Dr. Strange Gloves, Dick Stewart. He was coming to bat when Grote got thrown out the plate, trying to score on the double. Whoa, we got hopping dice. Even these little small dice hopped on that one. Really strange. 6-6 for McLish is a fly to right. 1 down, and that'll bring up Roberto Clemente. Tell you what, since this is a recorded game, I had a very small thought of restarting the game over after 8-1, but like I can't do that. I gotta play it out. So we gotta play it out. We can't restart stuff like that. But the thought there was for a split second was there. But in case you were curious, it was there, but it faded pretty quickly. I got rid of it pretty quickly. Here is a ground ball pitcher X to McLish. He's a 4-rated pitcher is McLish. So we're in this column right here. That's a 19, so that's an out 4. No runs on base, doesn't matter. It's a 1-3 ground out. And at least McLish is giving some stability to the pitching. They like him to go about 4 innings if they can. Here's Burgess. 3-6 for Burgess. He singles. 2-out single to Burgess. We'll bring up Don Hoke, third baseman. Reached on a 2-base error by Demeter his first time up. 6-8, and that's a triple 1-5. 6-20 is a double. That's a double. It's assumed to go to center field. Let's see if Burgess only runs. I know there are 2 outs. He runs in an 8 with 2 outs. It's a 10. 1-10. 50-50 shot. You know what? They're going to send him. They're up 8-1. They don't care. 1-10, he's safe. And he's out at home plate again. Also 8-6-2. Second time to end the inning for the Pirates to have a runner thrown out at the plate. But they thought it was a decent gamble. 50% chance. That's more than Mazeroski has of getting a hit. So decent gamble, just didn't work. And now Bob Friend back out will face Tony Taylor back to the top of the order for the Phillies, who trail at 8-1. That's a 2-7, and that's a base on balls, not what Friend wants. You're up 8-1, you need to be throwing strikes. Taylor is an ace dealer. Down 8-1, they don't care. They need to spark something here. That's a 1-15. It's only a -1 since Burgess is a 4, so it's a 1-14, and they're going to send him. Call me stupid, but we're going to send him. And he's in there, stolen base. They got to make something happen. They got to. It's almost like they're on. They need that shock thing that they put on the. When they say clear and they put those 2 pads on the chest. That's kind of what they need right now. So. I mean, what's the matter? If it gets caught stealing, it's going to cost them the game. They're already down 8-1. I mean, come on. I think I can be pretty free and loose with my managerial decisions when it's 8-1. Here's Callison, and you also avoid a double play that way as well. 6-7, that's a single. Taylor runs, and the single is assumed to go to center field. Taylor runs at a 16. Center fielder Verdon Well, there are no arm ratings, 1-16. But since nobody's out, we'll go ahead and hold him here. Since there's nobody out, they need to pile up base runners. They don't have to worry about extra bases. They need to pile up base runners. So here's Tony Gonzalez. Pirates, of course, playing back for a double play. 6-4. Ground ball third base X. They might get it. Hoke is a 2 at third base. He is a 2 rated third baseman. That is an 8. 2 and an 8 is an out 3. And an out 3 is another double play. It's completion of a double play. 5-4-3. The run's going to score. But it's a 5-4-3 double play. 5-4-3 double play. And there, if he didn't steal the base, the single would have only gotten him probably to second, and he'd still be sitting at third right now with no runs. So the double play, second double play in a row, turned by the Phillies. And here's Roy Sievers now. 2 outs and the bases are clear. 8-2 ball game. 6-8, and that's another single. So the double play really took the starch out of the Phillies there, prevented a big inning. Here's Wes Covington. 6-7 again, another single. Back to back. Sievers only runs in an 8, so there's no way in the world he's trying for third base. He'll hold right there, and here's Demeter. Had 2 6-8 rolls in a row. This time a 5-3 is a ground ball first base X, but that's to Dr. Strangeglove, and he's a 5. So this could be rather amusing. He is a 5, and almost everything in here is going to be a hit or an error. And this is a 1, so it's a single 2. Runner advances 2 bases, so they're not through yet. Sievers will score with a double play. Really took him out of the what could have been a very profitable inning, got him back in the game. They do get a second run to make it 8-3, but without that double play, they could be looking at 4 or 5 runs. So Dalrymple, the batter, runners on the corners, 2 outs. Get a 4-9, and that's a home run, 1-9. Double 10-20, and that's a double. So again, always assumed to go to center field, but it doesn't matter because the center field arm is irrelevant in this case. Demeter, all we're looking at is his run rating. His run rating is a 14. 14 for Demeter. There are 2 outs, makes him a 16. He's going to go. And he's in there. So a 2-run double for Clay Dalrymple. 4 runs in the innings, now 8-5. Boy, without that double play, they would be right back in this game. So I'm kind of glad I didn't redo the game when it was 8-1. I'm glad I stuck with it. At least it's somewhat interesting. Here's Amaro. 4-3. That's a ground ball pitcher B, and that's finally going to end the inning. But a Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning for the Phillies, and they cut the lead to 8-5 right there. They're actually right back in the game. They can get some good pitching from McLish. They can hang around a little longer. Here's Bill Mazeroski. He will lead off. 1-6, and he grounds it to third. Demeter is there, 1 away. For Bob Friend, and they're going to let Friend keep going. This is 1962, not 2022. 5-8, and it's a fly to left field. 2 down for Bill Verdon. (6-4) is a catcher X. Dalrymple's a 3 as a catcher. Dalrymple a 3. And a 12. 3-12 is a pass ball followed by a foul out. So it will be a foul out to end the inning. So after 3 complete, all of a sudden we got ourselves a game. It's 8-4. I'm sorry, 8-5, Pittsburgh. But the Phillies have made a game of it. We go to the top of the 4th. The pitcher spot, McLish, is scheduled. They're going to pinch hit for McLish. They like what he did for him, but They need some offense. So McLish is going to go 2 1/3. He's going to give up 3 hits and no runs. No walks or strikeouts. And we will need a new pitcher. I'm sorry, a pinch hitter for the Phillies. So we'll take a look and see who they want to get off the bench to hit. They've got, according to my records, they have 6 players on the bench. Check it, 7 players on the bench. 7 players on the bench. One of them's the backup catcher, so Bob Oldest, so we're going to hold on to him. But you have Jackie Davis, Sammy White, Mel Roach, Billy Consolo, he will get traded to Kansas City later, Billy Klaus, Frank Torrey, Ted Savage, and Bobby Wine. All kinds of choices here to lead off the inning. You are picking a leadoff hitter. So who is somebody that might be a good leadoff hitter if he was starting the game? And who can, who's got a decent average? All those things are being weighed in right now. We're going to go to Ted Savage, the Macho Man, Ted Savage. So Ted Savage will pinch hit here in the 4th inning. Ted Savage. He will do the pinch hitting. It's a 1-4, and that is a ground ball to third. 1 away. We go back to the top of the order for Tony Taylor. 1-7, that's a single for Tony Taylor. Leadoff single. He could try to steal again with 1 out. Let's calculate it again. He's an A stealer, which means he starts at a 15, -1 for the catcher because he's a 4, makes it a 14. Do we do it again? Might have got lucky the first time, so we'll hold off this time. We'll let Callison hit. Boy, I wanted to steal so bad, but I don't want to get it thrown out either. So. 1-5, and that's a single. That's going to put runners. Now, did we get Taylor to third? If we can get him to third, that'd be an important thing. He's a 16. So 1 to 16, he gets third base. And he does, so he will take third. That was huge because now he can score on sac fly or something along those lines. So runners at the corners, 1 out for Tony Gonzalez. That's a 3-7, and that's going to be a double 1 to an 11, single 12 to 20. That's a single, 2-star single. Callison will go to third. Run comes in. It's now 8-6, and now Pittsburgh bullpen is loosening as Bob Friend is falling apart. They gave him an 8-1 lead, and he doesn't seem to want to hold it. Still only 1 out for Roy Sievers. 2-6 for Sievers, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases, and that's going to be it for Bob, my friend. You are out of here. I gave you as long of a leash as I could, but just can't. Is Elton John saying, I just don't want to go on with you like that. So he's going to have to get out of here. So Bob Friend's going to end up going 3 1/3 innings. And now we're going to have to figure out. Let's look at Pittsburgh, and I want to make sure I'm not using one of their guys in relief that's going to start the next day as well. So let's go back and check out Pittsburgh and who they play and when and everything like that. They don't play until the 13th either, so they got a couple days off as well. And Sturdivant is the next starter, so as long as they don't pick Sturdivant, I think we're okay. Just don't pick Sturdivant. So we're going to go with, who do we go with? We are going to choose not very good. Let's try to pick somebody that's at least halfway decent. They're going with Bob Veal. We're going to have Veal for dinner. So Veal will be coming on. Bob Veal. He'll be coming in to pitch, and he'll be facing Wes Covington for the Phillies. Runners, well, the bases are loaded with one out, so the Pirates can definitely, they'd love to get a double play here. They are playing for that double play. 3-6, and that's a strikeout for Veal. Big strikeout there, 2 away. And now here's Don Demeter. Demeter now is up. The tying runs are in scoring position. The go-ahead runs at first. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-7. That's a double, 1-3, single 4-20. That's a single, 2 stars. And we have a tie ball game. It is 8-8. I did not think that would happen. 8-8. And Severs takes third base. And actually, as it turns out, Bob Friend could take the loss if Severs scores, because he is responsible for Severs. So if Severs comes around to score here, he would be the losing pitcher of record. Unbelievable. Here's Dalrymple. 4-7, and that's another walk. That's going to load the bases again for Ruben Amaro. He is the 9th man to bat in the inning. Ruben Amaro, the pinch hitter. Ted Savage is back on deck. He could pinch hit. No rule says pinch hitter can't pitch hit again in the same inning, you know. So here's Ruben Amaro. I don't think I've ever had that happen before, though. 3-4. That's a pop out to third, so we won't have to deal with it now. But Amaro makes the out, and we're going to have a double switch because the pitcher spot's going to lead off. So Phillies will go to a double switch in the next inning. Well, actually, they're bringing in a new pitcher, so they're going to have a double switch here. So the Phillies will go to the bullpen, and we'll figure out who they want to go to, who might be a decent option out of the bullpen, and who might be a decent option for a double switch. Do they have set to leave Savage in the game? Not really. They might switch for Amaro, though, maybe. Let's see. First of all, we need a pitcher, then we'll worry about the double switch and stuff. So they are going to go with Dennis Bennett. Dennis Bennett. Try to give him some innings. And the double switch, let's see who they want to bring in. They're going to bring in Bobby Wine to play shortstop for Amaro. So Bobby Wine will hit in the number 9 position as the shortstop, and the number 8 position will be the pitcher. So Bobby Wine will come in to play shortstop here in the 4th inning. 8-8 ball game. We can close the book now on Friend. He gives up all 8 runs. I believe they're all earned. Yes, they are. So he's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 hits. He's going to walk 1, 2, 3. He's going to walk 3. Not a lot of strikeouts in this game. In fact, he didn't get any strikeouts at all. Only 1 strikeout the whole game, and that was by Veal just now. So Dennis Bennett will be the new pitcher. And he will bat 8 spots away. He uses pitcher hitting card number 6, so he's not a bad hitter, but still, either way. With the double switch, that means that Bobby Wine will lead off. He'll be the leadoff man in the top of the 5th. So right now, Phillies turn it over to Dennis Bennett with the tie score. Let's get our cardboard mastery over here. Dennis Bennett will get the call. And Dick Grote is your batter. So it was a bullpen game. Dennis Bennett and Bob Veal are the pitchers of record. 1-9, that's a fly to center. 1 away. Rote is out of there. Here's Skinner. He'll be followed by Stewart. Anybody gets on Clemente. 3-7, and that's a double, 1-3. Single 4-20. That's a 3. It's a double for Bob Skinner. Back come the Pirates. Here comes Dick Stewart. 1-6 for Stewart. He grounds it to short. That'll hold the runner. And now with 2 outs and a runner at second is Roberto Clemente. He's 0 for 1, a walk, and he's grounded back to the pitcher. 6-9, and he struck him out. Dennis Bennett gets a strikeout. And at the end of 4 complete, we are all tied at 8 apiece here at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Field comes out to pitch again. And he will face Bobby Wine, his first at bat since coming on the double switch. Shortstop Bobby Wine. And Wine is a 3, so let's update that. He's a shortstop 3. So Wine, a 1-5, struck him out. It's going to look weird the rest of the game because the columns are not going to align because of that bat around. Here's Tony Taylor, 6-7, another base hit. Now, Tony Taylor's 1 out. I think stealing in this case is a good gamble with 1 out. So it's a 1-14. We've already calculated it once before. So 1-14, he's safe, and he's in there. Another stolen base for Tony Taylor. He is the go-ahead run in scoring position. With 1 out, it also eliminates a ground ball double play. Here's Callison. 3-7. That's a walk. So first and second, 1 out for Tony Gonzalez. Pirates seemingly had this game in hand, but they just let it get out of their hands. 4-5. Ground ball second base X. With the walk, it did set up a double play. So ground ball second base X, we're looking at Mazeroski. He's a 1. Can't hit worth a crap, but he's a good fielder. So he's a 1 second baseman. A lot of out 3s here, and those all turn into double plays. So anything 16 or less is a double play. The only way he gets into trouble is on a 17. So anything other than 17 is going to be a double play. And that's 12. It will be an out 3, which is a double play, 4-6-3. And that will end the inning. So Veal, with the help of a double play, gets out of the inning, keeps the score at 8-8. Looks like a game of attrition here. Who's going to outlast who? Here is Tony Gonzalez. Hope you're having a good Sunday, whatever you have planned. Here's Burgess, 6-9. That's a strikeout. 2 strikeouts in a row for Dennis Bennett. How about that? Here's Don Hoke. 1-4 to Hoke, and that's a 1-12 triple. Anything else would be a double. That's a triple for Hoke, and that's going to cause the Phillies to bring the infield in to try to choke that runoff. Mazeroski is up, and a Veal is scheduled to hit. He may hit. There may be a pinch hitter depending on the base running situation, but the infield is in to try to choke the runoff. 3-10, and that's a pop out to third base. Mazeroski pops it out to third, and now they're going to go ahead and bring in a pinch hitter for Veal because they desperately would like to reclaim the lead. So we cap Veal. Veal is going to go an inning and 2/3, and he's going to have 2 strikeouts. Looks like 2 walks, 2 hits, but most importantly, no runs. And now the Pirates will go to their bench for a pinch hitter. Question is, who do they go to? They have several choices, lots of choices actually. And they will go to Don Clendenin. Clendenin will pinch hit for Veal, and then we'll figure out who the new pitcher is going to be. But right now, Clendenin is on to try to get that run home from third with 2 outs. Clendenin more well known with the 69 Mets, but here in 62, he's with the Pirates. I think he actually went to the Expos as well at some point. So Don Clendenin trying to put the Pirates back in the lead. Pinch hitting here in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs and a runner at third. 4-5, and that is a strikeout for Bennett, and that will end the inning. So now the Pirates will have to go to the bullpen again, and we'll figure out who they want to use. At the end of 5, it is still 8-8. So who will the Pirates turn to now out of their bullpen? They will turn to Harvey Haddix. Harvey Haddix is coming out of the bullpen. He starts and relieves. So Harvey Haddix. And if I run a pitching room, which I'm sure I will, the Philadelphia pitchers here and the Pittsburgh pitching lines here. And he's pitched, hits, walks, strikeouts, and runs. All right. Don't usually expect to use a lot of pitchers in 62, because they pitch a lot of complete games and whatnot. But when your pitchers get rocked, you got to do what you got to do. All right, leading off will be Roy Sievers for the Phillies. 8-8, top of the 6th. 1-6, and that's a single and a 1. Anything else, he lines it to short. And that's a liner to short. So definitely the wildest game so far in the Sunday Basic Sunday series. This is definitely the wildest one to date. Here's Wes Covington. Hopefully people didn't tune out after the first inning when it was 8-1. And just to think, for a split second, I thought about redoing this and re-recording, but I'm glad I didn't. 2-9, and that's a double. 1-11. 12-20 is a single. That's a double. 1 out double for Covington. Brings up Don Demeter. That's a 4-8. And that's another double off of Haddix. And how about that? The Phillies have come all the way back to take a 9-8 lead. Now Dennis Bennett, the winning pitcher of record if it stands, and Haddix will be the loser if it stands. But I got a funny feeling we're going to see more runs. It's 9-8. Here's Dalrymple, 1-7. He grounds it to first. That's out number 2. And in basic, you do not go to third on that. I mean, it makes sense to do, but in basic with the ground ball B, if he's not forced, he doesn't go. So now we got the pitcher spot because of the double switch. So Dennis Bennett, does he keep going? You know what? They're going to, that's a tough call. I guess they're going to go ahead and go to a pinch hitter so they'd like to get that run home. So they're going to a new batter, try to get the run home. They've used Savage. They've used Wine. So let's see. They got Frank Torrey available as a pinch hitter, and that's where they're going. Frank Torrey. Frank Torrey will pinch hit here in the 6th. Frank Torrey. Runner at second. 2 outs. Torrey, 2-4. Grounds it to first, and that's going to end the inning. But the Phillies take a 9-8 lead, and now they need a new pitcher. We'll close the book on Bennett. Bennett goes 2 innings, gives up 2 hits and no runs. No walks, 3 strikeouts. He certainly did yeoman work. And now the Phillies will need a new pitcher. And they will go to, who do they want to go to is the question. They will go to Don I'm not even sure how to pronounce this. Ferrarese, maybe. Maybe it's Ferrarese. I don't know. I think I've heard the name Ferrarese before, maybe, or maybe I'm making it up. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking I'm hearing things. Either way, what are you going to do? All right, so Bill Verdon will lead off for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Verdon, and Ferrarese will get traded to St. Louis later, or however you pronounce that name. Here's Bill Verdon. 3-11 for Verdon. He grounds it to first. 1 away, and here's going to be Dick Grote. 3-2 for Grote. He lines it to short. Snagged by Bobby Wine. 2 down. And that'll bring up Skinner. Skinner is 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. 6-5, and that is a ground ball to short. We're looking at Wine, and Wine is rated as a 3. 3 rated shortstop for Bobby Wine. And that's a 6. 3 and a 6 is an out 1. That's all that matters. Inning's over. So for Ferrarese, or however you say that name, Mr. F gets the job done. And now, let's see what the Pirates want to do. They stick with Haddix. Guess they have to. Well, they will. Start the top of the 7th. Now I have trouble finding my Harvey Haddix card. Where did he run off to? There he is. He got buried in there somehow. Haddix is still going, obviously. And Bobby Wine is your leadoff batter, number 9 hitter on the double switch. Bobby Wine. 4-8 is a solid double for Wine. Billy's looking to extend the lead. Tony Taylor back to the top of the order. 6-12, that's a ground ball second base C. With the C, the runner will advance to third. And now the infield is going to have to come in for Johnny Callison. That's a 2-5, and that is a single to center field. Doesn't matter where the infield is. It's an RBI single. It's now 10-8 Philadelphia. They've scored 9 unanswered runs in this ball game. Tony Gonzalez, your batter. 5-2, that's a fly ball to left, 2 down for Roy Sievers. For 6, and that's a base hit. It's going to put runners at first and second. 2 outs for Wes Covington. Covington is 2 for 4. 2-4, and that's a fly to right to end the inning. We'll go to the 7th inning stretch. It took forever to get here. We've been playing for 54 minutes, or the stream's been going for 54 minutes, and we're just now at the 7th inning stretch. So due up for the Pirates will be Stewart, Clemente, and Burgess. Hands of, Dr. Strange glove, Dick Stewart will lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th. Of what is now a 10-8 game in favor of the Phillies. 3-10, ground ball to third, and that is 1 away. Again, it's throwing me off with these columns because of the bat around is throwing everything off. And now here is Clemente. Clemente, the batter. 5-4, and that's a catcher X. That's Dalrymple. Dalrymple is a 3-rated catcher. 3-rated catcher for Dalrymple, and that's a 10. That's out on a dribbler, so 2 to 3 ground out. Clemente is retired, and here's Smokey Burgess. Smokey Burgess, 6'7", is a ground ball second base X. That's Taylor. He's a 3. Tony Taylor, a 3 at second base. That's a 7. 3 and 7 is an out 3. That's good enough. Nobody's on base to worry about it. And the Pirates, boy, after that first inning, they have just gone stale. That's about the only thing you can say about it. They have just gone completely stale. Utterly and completely stale is all I can say. We go to the top of the 8th. Back out to pitch will be Haddix. And he will be facing Demeter, Dalrymple, and a pinch hitter for however you say that guy's name. 4-4, and that's a catcher X. We're looking at Burgess. He's a 4. He is a 4. Burgess is a 4. That's a 15. Pass ball followed by foul out, so it will be a foul out. And Demeter is out of there. 1 down for Clay Dalrymple. And actually, if Dalrymple makes an out here, it might just keep the pitcher in the game. We'll have to wait and see. 2-10. That's a pop out to second base, so they will let him hit. He uses pitcher hitting card number 7. He's a very impressive number 7, batting card number 7 hitter. Find a batting card number 7 that we can turn to. And I believe we got one right here. The batting card number 7 for our pitcher. That's who we will be using. With 2 outs, nobody on this, and he's pitching well, so there's no reason to take him out. He's obviously got plenty of endurance, so to last. So we're using him under pitcher hitting card number 7. That's a 2-10, and that's going to be a strikeout to end the inning. So that takes care of that. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and we'll get a pinch hitter for Haddix as well now that we're getting to his part of the order. But it's going to be Don Hoke first, followed by Mazeroski, and then a pinch hitter. And we'll go to their bench and see who the possible pinch hitter might be. They've already used Clendenin. You got Schofield available. He's a possibility. Also have Don Leppert. Actually, it's going to be Leppert, not Schofield. So Don Leppert will be the pinch hitter. Don Leppert. He will pinch hit here in the 8th inning, right after Mazeroski. So it's Hoke and then Mazeroski, then Leppert. Due up here in the bottom of the 8th of a 10-8 ball game. We get a 1-7, and that's a base hit for Don Hoke. Brings a tying run to the plate in Mazeroski. .211, and that's a single there, so back-to-back hits. Phillies might want to go to the bullpen anyway, regardless of whether he's a hitter or not. Here comes Don Leppert, the pinch hitter, backup catcher. He's in there to hit a .266 hitter. 1-6, and he walks. That's going to load the bases. And I think we're going to get a pitching change for the Phillies right here. as Bill Burden's coming up and Gene Mauch can't watch anymore. So that'll be the end of that, and we'll go to the bullpen for the Phillies, and they will go to let's see who they've got here. They're going to go to what they rate as their closer, Jack Balchin. I guess it's pronounced Balchin. So Balchin is on. He did have 13 saves on the regular season. Can't close the book on for whatever his name is, because he's going to go 2+ in the inning category. Didn't get anybody out here in this inning. No walks, no strikeouts, 1 walk, no strikeouts, and 2 hits. Can't do the runs. He's responsible for everybody on base. So the bases are loaded in a 10-8 game, and Jack Balchin is on for the Phillies. They're playing back for a double play. They will trade a run to get 2 outs. They need outs in the worst way. 6-3, and that's a 6-3 is a fly ball right field X. Right fielder is Callison. He's a 3. He is a 3. And we get a 17. 3 and a 17 is an out 1, which says runners advance 1 base on the out 1. So that's like a fly ball A. So everybody's going to move up. Sacrifice fly to right field. Scoring is Hoke. Mazeroski takes 3rd, and Leppert takes 2nd. So now it's 10-9. The infield is going to come in as the tying run is at 3rd base with 1 out. Infield is in. Grote 1-6. Single 1-8. 9-20 is a line out. And that's a 20, so he's going to line it out to 2nd base. 2 down. And now it's up to Skinner. Balchin has to get the out to try to maintain the lead. It would be a great save if he was able to do it. 2-8, and he does it so far. Ground ball to first is going to end the inning. So he comes in, bases loaded, nobody out, gives up 1 inherited runner. I don't think that's bad at all. So he'll be back to try to save it in the 9th for the Phillies. It is now a 10-9 ball game as we head to the top of the 9th. Need a new pitcher for the Pirates. We'll see who they go to for that. Haddix, we'll figure out his numbers. Haddix went 3 innings. And let's see, he gave up 1 run. 3 innings and 1 run. Got to be more than that, though. 3 innings and 2 runs. Given up by Haddix. He is a losing pitcher of record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits in his 2 innings. Let's see, 1. Got a strikeout here. I don't see any walks. No walks in the strikeout. So the Pirates will go to their bullpen once again. Bobby Wine will be your leadoff hitter. Pirates going to the bullpen, and they will go ahead and bring in, might as well, it's the 9th inning. They're going to bring in Roy Face. Try to keep the score where it is. So Roy Face is on to pitch here in the top of the 9th. Leadoff hitter will be Bobby Wine, and then we're back up to Taylor and Callison. So Bobby Wine is your pitcher, or is your batter, I should say, here in the top of the 9th. Might need to back this up just a smidgen. I think it's about as far back as I can go, actually, so we'll try to, hopefully everything's still showing. Here's Wine, 1-5, and that's a strikeout. Bobby Wine out on strikes, and here's Tony Taylor. Roy Face trying to save face for the Pirates. 4-8, and that's a single 1-10. 11-20, he will line it out to first base. And it's a base hit for Tony Taylor. He has gotten 3 hits. He's stolen 2 bases. Might as well try it again. It's been good luck. He's 2 for 2, 1-14. He's going to steal it. Make it 3 for 3. Tony Taylor has stolen 3 bases in this game, and here's Callison. That's a big insurance run at second base. 1-6, and that's a single right there. Question is, do they try to score Taylor? There's only 1 out. It would be a 1-16 though, as he runs at a 16. So 1-16, they're going to send him, and he scores. RBI single from Callison, and the Phillies add an insurance run. They now lead it 11-9. 11-9 ball game. Still only 1 out. They're looking for more. Tony Gonzalez. 2-6 for Gonzalez. 1-7 is a single. Anything higher is a line out. That's an 8, so it will be a line out to second base. 2 down for Roy Sievers. Looking ahead to the 9th inning, it'll be Stewart, Clemente, and Burgess for the Pirates. Sievers 4-6. That's a base hit. That's going to score another run. 1-5 is a double. 6-20 is a single. Actually, it will not score a run. It's a 2 stars. That's a single 2 stars. Going to put runners at the corners. So runners at the corners with 2 outs for Wes Covington. 6-8, and that's a line out to third to end the inning. But a big insurance run for the Phillies as we go to the bottom of the 9th here in Pittsburgh. And let's see, we're going to have Stewart, Clemente. So this is probably the only inning that Fates is going to pitch. He goes 1 inning, gives up 3 hits and a run. No walks, no strikeouts. So Balchin in to try to finish out the save that he started last inning. And he will be facing in the bottom of the 9th. He'll be facing Stewart, Clemente, and Burgess. Those are the scheduled hitters for the Pirates. Stewart, 4-8. That's a fly to center field. Balchin 2 outs away now from an improbable victory for the Phillies after being down 8-1 after 1 inning. I don't think I've ever had a comeback like this before. 5-6. That's a walk. Now, it's assuming they can finish it off because the Pirates now have the tying run at the plate in Smokey Burgess. 2-6 for Burgess. He lines it to first. 2 down as Sievers makes the catch. And here's Hoke. Don Hoke. Last chance for the Pirates. 2-7, and that's a fly to left. The ball game is over. The Philadelphia Phillies, a very improbable comeback here on Basic Sunday Basic. Balchin's going to go. Let's see here. Balchin's going to go pitch 2 innings, and he's going to give up a walk, nothing else. No runs, no hits. So the winning pitcher is going to be, however you say this guy's name, for Ferrerasi. Or actually, no, I take it back. The winning pitcher is going to be Bennett. Or will it be, actually it's going to, well, it's official score because it's official score prerogative because nobody went the required innings. I'm going to give the win to Dennis Bennett. I think he pitched the most effective in relief. I'm going to give the save to Balchin. Now, the loss is pretty easy to determine who the loss is, and that's Harvey Haddix. He takes the loss. So let's get our totals. For the Phillies, 11 runs. They do it on 13, 18, looks like 21 hits the Phillies pound out. 21 hits. Were there any errors? Yes, the Phillies had an error here. So 1 error for them. For the Pirates, 9 runs. They do it on 10, 12 hits. And I don't believe they committed any errors. So there you go. Phillies, 11 runs, 21 hits, and 1 error. Pirates, 9 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. It's amazing that the basic strat took an hour and 10 minutes to play. But when you score 20 runs with 33 hits and you end up using 9 pitchers between the two teams, that can happen. So a very eventful Sunday Basic Sunday. And for those that hung around and didn't leave after the first inning, hopefully you were treated to a really fun game. And certainly, I didn't have that on my bingo card. They would come back like that, but they certainly did. So that's going to do it from here on Sunday Basic Sunday, as everybody likes basic, right? Or not everybody, but some folks out there like the basic. So we like to give the folks what they want. Sunday Basic Sunday, there you go. Hopefully it brings back memories. And there you are. And I don't know, hopefully this cardboard in the back gave a little bit of a good contrast for these white cards on the white score sheet. If I look at it, when I go back and watch the start of this and see how it looks on video, I will try to figure out whether I want to continue doing that or not. I very well could keep it up. We'll have to wait and see. But that's going to do it from here. Hope you had a great Sunday, or will have a great Sunday the rest of the day. And tomorrow is Memorial Day, so usually play my 87 American League replay at 9 a.m. every weekday. But with a holiday on Memorial Day, I might change that to a different time. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I'll have a game. It just may not be at 9. It might be closer to noon or something. I don't know. Have to wait and see, because more people are going to be home to see it. So thought maybe having it more in the later in the morning might help. I don't know. We'll wait and see how it plays out. Not going to make any hard and fast decisions right now. I'm going to try to keep it fluid. So that's going to do it from here. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday, and or whenever you're watching this. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road. Strat on.